This is X and Z Horror Movie Reviews. I'm X with your Gen X perspective.
I'm Z with your Gen Z perspective.
And tonight we're reviewing Leigh Whannell's Wolfman. A Wolfman movie in name only, Wino for short. The introduction of were-COVID and also costumes that are from orcs from the Lord of the Rings. Welcome to X and Z. This is our review of Leigh Whannell's Wolfman. We'll jump right into it. Director Leigh Whannell is back from having done The Invisible Man. This time he's tackling the Wolfman. This is for the Universal Monsters lineup. And woo! We dropped the ball on this one a lot. All right. Our cast includes Christopher Abbott playing Blake, Julia Garner playing Charlotte, and Matilda Firth playing Ginger. A couple other people, no other standouts. We're just gonna start right away with Gen Z's take on this. You may want to sit down.
To kick it off, this movie has zero substance. I walked out of the theater, my brain felt fried. I had nowhere to put the movie in my head. There was nothing to it. The characters don't care about the movie. I don't care about the movie. The movie doesn't do anything itself like the monster. Doesn't drag me. There's nothing that drags me into the world. Zero substance. The exposition in the movie, weak. Weak as all get out. It feels like a sad excuse to go to a random house in the forest. It's not really random so much. We'll get to that later, but it's a sad excuse to kick off the movie. Weak. The monster isn't a werewolf. It's an orc. It's an orc. It's literally from
It's a Wendigo zombie orc.
Right here. Truth. It's true. It doesn't meet any criteria to do with werewolf. To do with a werewolf. This is also another gripe I have. It paid nothing to the 2010 or 1941 Wolfman films. The whole idea that silver kills werewolf, it's the only element that can. Now, one bullet to the chest can kill a werewolf. Easy, just piece of cake. Easy. It makes no sense. A full moon? I didn't even know if we saw a full moon in this movie. Was there a full moon?
Like the ending where all the light comes through the trees, but it never showed the moon per se.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, it didn't pay attention to it. It wasn't a focal point of the film, I can tell you that. The movie is also extremely predictable. Extremely predictable. There were scenes I saw a scene 5 minutes later. I'm like, yeah, I totally saw that coming. I'm like, they're driving down the road and I know the trailer showed them getting in a car crash and all, but even having like the lead up to them getting in a crash, I'm like, they're totally gonna get in a crash it's so predictable. Not a great example, but you know what I mean. There's so many things in this movie. Evidently, being a werewolf and being infected with werewolfism is now a disease, like COVID, for example. Get your swabs, got a test. The symptoms may include cold sores, eating your own arm, and losing a couple of teeth, and, growing in huge malformed nails that, I don't know, it kind of looks like he was growing tentacles when he was transforming. That's another thing, too. The transformation is not very good. There's a lot of bone cracking. There's a lot of with like the jaw. I'm like, are you a zombie? Like all things leading. A dentist, perfect. Perfection. He needs a dentist. He needs the best plan. If you're a dentist.
It's a number of professionals. Yeah.
So, that being said, the transformation too, in this movie, the director, he tried to make the transformation, instead of magical and it happening in 30 seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes where it's like big and it's scary, it happens over the course of 4-6 hours, some odd hours. And while you can try and do something different for this movie, why? It takes too long. It takes away from the movie because all you want to see is the Wolf Man, which we don't really get to see all too much of in this 2-hour-long movie. And even if we do, it's more man than wolf. It's a Bigfoot, kinda. It's an orc. That's true. Yep.
No,
orc.
it is.
It's
It is a Yurkai.
Yep. No, you're right. It's an orc.
Watch
It's
the
an
Lord
orc.
of the Rings. Okay.
It's an orc.
Return of the King. It's the Return of the Werewolf. Not Return of the King. The Two Towers.
The two towers. What is Return?
Saruman. The Fighting Yurkai.
Oh. That being said, the transformation takes way too long. And by the time he is transformed, he's still kind of capable of just being normal. He chases his wife and daughter through the forest near the end of the movie, and he doesn't. It seems like he is chasing them, but it's almost like it seems like he's hunting them, and they're scared of him. But by the end, he's like, "Yo," and he can't talk, but he's like, "Yo, shoot me so I can be dead and not be a werewolf and not hurt anybody." I'm like, "You are not human anymore, bro. You are, or orc.
Maybe
not-
he is,
maybe-
maybe he's not. It's difficult to say.
I'm gonna be honest. Once the tentacles started growing out of his nails, I'm sorry. That's what they were. I'm like, I'm
They
watching
were-
them twist out. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's,
no, it
that's
was-
not a nail. That's
it
not a
was
claw.
Some Lee press on action going on there. It was weird.
Like there was something going on. Oh,
Oh,
okay. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Just one thing to mention: the cliche of him. He gets stuck in a bear trap at one point in the movie near the end, and instead of unclenching the bear trap from his foot because work and all, no, he chews off his own leg. I'm like, in the middle of the movie, Charlotte is going to jumpstart a very grimy truck. This is 30 years worth of grime in disgusting muck. Bad. Not something you wipe away. This is pressure washing. This is throwing the truck away and
Oh.
getting a new
Wow.
truck. Yeah. Bad.
pressure washing.
So-
for sure.
So she's gonna jumpstart this thing with a battery, which doesn't even make any sense. But eventually she gets it running, and the window wipers, the cleaners, she turns them on, and somehow, by some miracle, this grime that's on the windshield, I mean, it's opaque. It's not like like a little
You
like
can see it in
like-
the trailer.
like it's absolutely horrid. I'm like, 30 years of grime, turns the window cleaners on. Oh, what? One swipe.
Yeah, those
It's
are
it's amazing.
The best windshield
Those-
wipers ever.
Oh,
We gotta
my
get the
gosh.
manufacturer's name because gotta get me some of those. Yeah, that
I was in
scene.
shock.
That scene killed me. I gotta jump in here for just a minute.
Okay.
First of all, she's gonna jumpstart the car battery in the truck with the car battery that she finds inside, because you know how everyone has a spare battery laying around. And for whatever reason, she magically knows that the one in the house is good versus the one in the truck, which is bad. And when she picks it up, it weighs about as much as a Happy Meal, which if you've ever changed your own car battery, it doesn't. I'm gonna kick it back to you.
Okay. So other than that, I'm convinced that the creators of the movie didn't watch the film after the editing process was over, because, oh my god, nobody would say, okay, we're good to go on the release. Wrong. This movie needed, honestly, it needed so much more to be done. And for me, for Gen Z, I'm gonna have to throw this Wolfman movie, in the wolf can.
I see what you did there.
It's bad.
Mhm.
So, kicking it over to you,
Okay.
what do you
All
think
right.
about this werewolf orc
right.
movie.
Yeah. So I'd like to begin with huge werewolf movie fan. I love the 1941 original Wolfman. I loved the 2010 remake of the Wolfman. I like pretty much every werewolf movie that I've ever seen, pretty much. Okay? Wanted this to be good. Loved the idea of Leigh Whannell putting his reinvention touch on it and doing something different, updating it, bringing werewolves into, 2025, new generation, let's go. I was psyched when I heard that they were remaking this. Having said that, and, it is never our intention to trash a movie, but we do have to tell the truth. Oh man, I mean, so many plot holes, so many missed opportunities, so much lazy writing, so much like, why did they even bother doing this? Okay, starting it off with a few lines of script about the mystical, magical Native American legend. That old chestnut.
A wolf face.
The wolf face, yeah. That magically is this disease that no one's ever documented before. The film opens, father and son, they're going to go hunting. They live out in the middle of the mountains. Okay? And it's fine. I guess hunting is good for, feeding the family and so forth. And unfortunately, if you're going to use hunting in your movie, please just hire somebody that knows anything at all about hunting. Yeah, okay? The hunting scene where the father is literally yelling at his son and then looks up and, oh, there's a deer. There's no wildlife within a quarter mile of anyone yelling in the forest. Okay? They know you're coming. Also, when they look up and the deer's there, it's a fawn. Nobody's hunting fawns. No one ever hunts fawns. That's why there's a hunting season. I'm not going to get into that, but my wildlife issues with this movie are many. I'd like to also point out that later in the movie, there's a scene with a spider. There are no tarantulas in Oregon.
Yeah, no Goliath bird eaters.
No Goliath bird eating spiders.
Oregon.
Yeah, and just these little things just immediately pull me out of the movie. This says to me the director didn't care. He's like, get a big hairy spider in there. Make it scary. And even in the scene, they could have had a tiny spider. It would have been more effective, to be honest with you, for what they're trying to do with that. But there's just complete lack of attention to detail. I need to say this. Suspension of disbelief has to be earned. When you go into the movies, there has to be enough story, enough visual material to draw you in so that you don't lose track. And every time a mistake is made, a careless error is made, it's over. You're like, you just lost me there. We're supposed to be riveted, not just constantly picking things apart that are dumb. We're going to continue. So, it's a short opening with the father and son to establish we live out in the woods. And what we've established is the werewolf does come after them. They don't get eaten, but they know that it's there. The father tells the son, oh, it's a bear. Of course he does. The son knows that it's not. Of course he does. The son later finds the father in his whack job, communication room with a skull flag and a paramilitary stuff everywhere. And, he's talking to another guy on a CB radio, we got to get this monster to protect our sons. And then, boop, it's over. So what we established is the son knows that there's a problem in the woods around the house. Fast forward 30-something years, now we're in San Francisco. And Christopher Abbott is an adult now, and he gets this notice that his father has passed away. Now he's got to go back home. Okay.
He's all cracked up about it too. He takes about 10 minutes to process
It's
that.
a really awkward and rushed scene. There's no real motivation here. There's no explanation here. His wife gets home. He's out of work. She's the only one working. She's still working. He's giving her grief over that. He's cutting up with the daughter. It's just kind of a lot of awkward family strife, and it's a good reason to go and spend the summer at the cabin. Julia Garner, who has a job, doesn't want to go to the cabin. Not real thrilled with that. And he tells her, oh no, it'll be good for our family, and you can work remotely. Which one might imagine involves the internet. Another big old plot hole disaster here.
Given the house is powered with
Yeah,
a generator.
So next thing you know, they're in the truck. They're cruising through Oregon. Because of course they're going there. The Wolfman's not going to come to San Francisco. They get there. We see the shooting house that's in the beginning of the scenes. There's a guy in it. They're lost, of course, because he doesn't remember where he was going. And then the scene that we see in the trailer where blah, 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 Wolfman jumps in front of the car, and then the car, listen to me, the moving truck crashes. Okay, first of all, Jurassic Park called. They want their scene of the truck in the trees back. Also, his friend that was in the movie for 3.5 minutes falls out of the truck and dies. So that guy's gone, having served no purpose at all, really. Like, why even have him in the movie? Just have them driving and the werewolf jumps out and they crash the truck. What's the point? Also, as I mentioned in the Invisible Man review, Leigh Whannell hates car windows. Werewolf Man punches through the side window of the truck. He's going to punch through a windshield later. Like, dude needs therapy to get some aggression out. Okay? Anyhow, Werewolf manages to scratch the dad. Like, we don't have to bite people anymore to pass along the were COVID. We can scratch people now, and they're gonna get the disease. Okay, they make it out of the truck. It's 1/4 mile or so to the house, 1/2 mile. It's a distance. They're running, they're in the woods, then they're in the field. They barely make it before the werewolf catches them because, everybody knows. Why didn't the werewolf just catch up to them sooner? I mean, really? What is that? The movie would have been over, blessedly, so much sooner. And it makes no sense. It's all done for tension, and boy, then we really get into it. So, Whannell's concept here is not to have the immediate transformation. He wanted something that takes time. I do love that concept. I think it makes so much more sense. I thought this is going to be a really good chance to update the werewolf story. The way he does it is, instead of using magic where people just turn into werewolves out of nowhere, he likes to take, what did we say, like 4 hours. Let's call it 4 to 6 hours. Something like that. It's all over one night. And he doesn't change so much as he rots. So when I said the Wendigo orc zombie creature, like, this thing never looks like werewolf, ever. It's just watching this guy get grosser and grosser and grosser and fall apart. And Whannell even described Cronenberg's movie The Fly as a big influence here. But let's not forget, in that film, he had his fly chamber that he would go into, and that's what was making him change. And he changed over time, not all in one night. Nope. So without any help at all, except for the magical, mystical Native American legend, you get a scratch and then you start rotting. But it gets bad because they make it back to the house. Just from the rotting point of view, some time passes. I'll get into that in a minute. And then at some point, this guy just starts leaking blood all over the table. And his wife is like, oh, honey, like, things don't look like they're going so good. They take the bandage off that she puts on. His entire arm is rotted away. Like, it's not even like he couldn't be alive. Like, seriously, like, bones and flesh zombie, like, not a minor wound, not the scratch that he had first got. And so naturally they're like, okay, Dad's gonna be okay. You know, what?
Yeah, we gotta get him to a hospital. That's what they say.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, we need a hospital.
Like,
So
the arm is gone.
yeah, no, it's seriously gone. And so naturally he starts to eat his own arm. What are we doing here, people? What are we doing here? You could eat your own arm for no particular reason. You needed a snack. I don't even know what to do with this movie. It gets so stupid. Naturally, all of this is taking place over a few hours, in which the werewolf that's outside doesn't want to come in. But then he gets tired of waiting. He jumps on the roof and breaks in the upstairs window.
Which leads to a bar fight with werewolves.
So let's go back to when they first make it into the house after being chased across the field, and the father, Blake, is gonna put a big hutch in front of the door. He starts nailing boards down and everything, only to remember, oh, the back door totally unguarded with an open dog door. And my point with all of this is Leigh Whannell is just jumping from scene to scene to try to capture a visual look. And there's a term called an auteur, and it's a filmmaker that has such a distinct style. You can watch a movie and you're like, oh, you know, Tim Burton made that, or Quentin Tarantino made that. These guys have their styles, they're very distinct, and I feel like the new generation of horror movie directors are desperately trying to find their way into this category. They're failing badly in a lot of cases. Our next review will be for a movie that's great.
It's actually well done.
And we're not going to name it because it's coming up, but it is good. Okay, very good. That's coming after this review, so stay tuned for that. There's no communications. She's got to dig out the CB radio after she was going to spend the summer working remotely. Yeah, I mean, what was she going to do? Mail letters to the office? Hey, there's just nothing works. It kept pulling me out of the film, and that's my point. Okay, let's talk about the Universal Monster Universe and how Universal just keeps failing. Just missing the mark. And I don't know why. I can tell you that this movie had a $25 million budget. I can tell you that Robert Eggers' Nosferatu had a $50 million budget. It shows. Like, what are you doing? $25 million. Why? Why not make a good movie instead? You know, this thing's just going to get trashed. A lot of people are disappointed in it. It's not going to do well. And it had a perfect opportunity. There was a lot of excitement for it. I was excited. I know a lot of people were excited. Missed opportunity. Some of the scenes, some of the special effects, as you had pointed out, the werewolf vision, it's a rip-off of a video game called Dead by Daylight. It's just like not...
The Halloween event.
Not good. The volume, that's what I'm trying to like pronounce here. You know, when you're watching TV and all of a sudden the volume just goes up and you didn't change it. That happens in the movie. It gets distracting. It's a little weird and not great. Just not really what we're looking for. You know, it's a miss. And the only other thing I'm going to say is I don't know how in the world this guy's making a movie and he didn't just get the inspiration of Ruth Langmore versus werewolves. Everyone would have loved that. Nope, not gonna do it. You know, we get Julia Garner completely wasted in this role. Does nothing, says nothing, has no good lines. Nobody does. It's just not good. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Cannot recommend this film. Sorry, but it's true. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
We're done.
We're gonna conclude that for you and ourselves, because holy. So,
All right. I'm X.
I'm Z.
We thank you for watching as always, and we look forward to bringing you a very positive and good review coming in the next few days. Thanks for watching.
I mean, seriously, you got to think about this. You know, if you're gonna eat your own arm or leg, I mean, you need some seasoning.
Like,
Seriously.
You know. Then it gets stupid, yeah.
Oh.
So we're out in the middle of the country where the paramilitary nut used to like have his man cave set up, which apparently had no guns at all. Okay, and so now we're gonna have a werewolf fight. Old wolf, new wolf. That's gonna go boop. Like, really? Did you get concerned? All right, we're not gonna beat a dead wolf.
Or a dead orc.
Dead orc.
One of the two.
No, dude, it's straight up a ripoff of Lord of the Rings. Like, I couldn't place it at first. And I was like, what is that? Oh my gosh, it really is the Yerk High character. Like, when he pulls his jaw out, he was like, this is like, is he a snake man? I don't know what's happening here.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
So,
okay.
All right.
We're done.